Good morning, good morning, good morning, game changers, and welcome to Coffee in the Morning, hosted by SI 101 Baby, where I share my morning thoughts and ideas with you. So go grab your favorite beverage and sip with me. Don't worry, I'll wait. It's a little bit sweet today, but okay. A little bit sweet today, y'all. Whew. Today is Storytime Saturday. Yes, it's Storytime Saturday. And I would like to piggyback off of a story that I had began to tell in the previous video, not the last video, but the previous video, where I was sharing with you all about a house and how I was doing and how I thought I was balling. Okay? Okay? But before I do, I would like to thank everyone who watched my last video. I really appreciate it. And would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel. And once you hit that subscribe button, right next to the subscribe button is a notification bell. If you click that notification bell and press all, you would be notified each and every time I upload a video. And then you have become a part of the Game Changers. And I really welcome you here, where we don't judge anyone, we love on everybody. If I could hug you all, I would. Now, like I said, if I could hug you all, I would. But again, welcome to the Game Changers, where we're going to change the game together, you and me. Okay, let's get into this story here. Now, this was some time ago, like I said, about 14 years ago, and maybe 15. But I had shared with you all a story about how I met my sweetie. That's what it was. But before I met my sweetie, like I said, I was living a completely different life. I was married with 5 children. We have purchased a home that we watched them build from the ground up. And this is where I'm going to start the story. Now, as you all know, like I told you in my introduction video, I am a woman of faith and I am a believer. Well, this particular year, we were at church, my first husband and I. And as we were in church, one of the church mothers approached my husband and myself. And she came over there and she said, I see that God is going to bless you with a home, brand new home, built from the ground up. Now, when somebody tells you something like that, and like I have told y'all before, with what I know and how I think and how Sean mind works, I'm like, I received it. I thanked her for it. I praised God for it and everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And about a year and a half to 2 years later, actually it was about a year later, I would leave work every day, every single day, and go past the site where the home was. My grandbaby is here, and I'm finna get her, because I did tell her before I start this video to be quiet. Sorry, Game Changers. The duties of a grandmother. But anyway, back to the story. She done made me forget where I was at. But anyway, like I said, I would come home from work every day and drive past the site where the house was at. And it just seemed like every day something new had been added to the house. So on my way home, I would literally go home and then go home to my husband and kids. But I had to go to that house first. Now, how it all played out with us getting this house, I also told you all I was on welfare. Well, I was also on Section 8. I don't know if you all know what that is, but it's a part, it's where the government pays part of your rent and you pay another part. But I was also enrolled into this program that they offer, to where as you pay your rent, they would match what you would pay in rent. And after a certain amount of time of being in this program, you would then get a check for that amount to go towards your new home, purchasing a new home, down payment, whatever. But we had to take this class, which was called First Time Buyers Class, my husband and I. And we took the class, went through the program, went through all the courses that were provided, the debt collection class. It was just different classes within the program, and I don't want to go into the details of the program. But I just wanted you to know how we wound up with this house. So one day I was at work, and my housing specialist at the time called me. Now, I don't have Section 8 today. Lord knows I probably need it. I wish I did have it. But anyway, no, I don't. Devil is a lie. But anyway, she called me. I was at work, and she told me there was a house. It wasn't built yet. And she said it'll probably be built sometime the following year. And she asked, would I be interested in the home? And I said, well, let me talk to my husband and let's see, you know, what's going on. But send me what you have about the house and I'll let you know. Well, once she sent it to me, I was already excited. I was already gung-ho for the home. I was ready. Like I said, I had the job. I had everything I really wanted. Everything that I thought I wanted. You know, the life that I had envisioned living as a child, I was actually living it, you know. We all have that life we envision at a certain age. And as we're working towards that life as we grow, some things will come in and alter your vision a little bit. And let's say my vision was blurred. I'm so serious. It was blurred. But anyway, God was yet working on me and my husband, and at least me. See this face? Okay. So she sent me the information for the home. And I got home from work that day, but not before going past that site, because I wanted to actually see where the house was. Now, this was the very first day that I had went there, and all I had was a little blueprint. And when I got there, there wasn't nothing there but cement. They had laid the foundation in the basement. And I'm like, oh, this is a nice little spot. You know, this is a nice little spot. Okay. So I drove home. I get home, I talk to my husband about it, and an in-depth conversation, you know. It was in an area where they were trying to, let's say, raise the standards. Okay. It was in a bad neighborhood that they were trying to get working class people in. Let's just leave it at that. And so I asked him about it, and I said, do you want to move on that side of town? I mean, I know it may be a problem for you, but if it's going to be a problem for you, we can keep looking. And this man looked me in my face and said, "Oh, I'm straight. I'm good. Yeah, I want it. It's going to be our house? Yes, it's going to be our house. Yeah, I want it. I don't care where it's at." So that excited me. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, we can get it. It's a 4-bedroom house, basement, everything I wanted. But there was a catch to the house. The house was one of the first solar-powered homes in the county which I live in. So it was a part of a project. They were doing a pilot project to see how it would work. But we were a part of that. So as time progressed, and I would go past that house every single day on my way home from work. So one day it finally got to the place where I drove by and pulled in the driveway, and these men basically knew who I was because I showed up every day. And I would talk to them, "Yep, this is my house, this is my house. You know how you do. Yep, that's mine, you know." And one day I pulled up, and they were putting the carpet down. And that was the day I said, "I'm walking in there." So I got out of my car, and I knocked on the door, and the gentleman was in there, and I said, "Hi, hello, hey, hello." And he was like, "Come on in." And I went in, and for the first time, I saw what my house looked like. And I'm like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God," you know. And the top part, it was a ranch home. It just had a basement. So it was a ranch style home. And when you walk through the door, there's a little foyer, small one, like a little breezeway or whatever. And you walk through the door, and immediately to your left was the living room. Nice big living room with a big old sliding glass door. Oh, I was in love with this house already. And on the right-hand side, when you walk through the foyer, was the dining room. The dining room was here. The back door was there. And then the kitchen. Now, as you walk down the hallway, which was straight in front of you from the door, there was 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, the 3rd bedroom, all on the same wall, and then in the back was the master bedroom. I'm like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And as you come out of the master bedroom, which had this big old walk-in closet and a little nook back there where I used to keep my computer and my desk and stuff, and then the bathroom, and then the basement. Okay, basically that's how the house looked. And then on the outside were all these solar panels. Well, long story short, guys, as time went on, like I told you in that video, with what Sean knew, things began to falter. Okay, we got the home, they gave us the money, you know, the house ran on batteries, and when the sun didn't shine, the house would kick over to city electric or whatever you call it. But anyways, things began to get a little bumpy. And like I told you, my sight was a bit blurred. My vision was blurred. And my husband, who worked at one of the biggest hospitals in our area, began to have some issues with drugs. And it's okay. I know everybody do. Everybody got somebody. that has this issue. And now I had been delivered years before that, and it came back to him, and I guess he accepted it. And so he accepted it back, and it kind of whooped his butt. And mine too, because I'm his wife. So whatever happens to the head trickles down to the body. Now, no, I did not go back to drugs or anything, but when I say it kicked my butt too, is when those checks stopped coming home. And now I'm in trouble. I can't quite keep up with these payments. You know, I can't quite pay the car note and the house note and all the bills and keep the kids in all these programs that they in, and it's getting a little bit rocky, and I'm having to pray. I'm having to pray, y'all. Y'all hear me? I mean, pray, cry. I fasted, everything. I did everything I could do. Everything they told me to do at church, I did it. I did it. And things still was rocky and still shaky. I don't know what to do, you know. So I made up my mind that, Shine, you have to look at it like this. You have these children, and you don't want them in this situation. You don't want them to see what's going on here. And I kept a lot of things private from my children. I kept a lot of things hidden from them. They didn't learn till after I divorced their father what really was going on. And that's a story within itself. I think that's going to have to be another video. But anyway, I made up my mind to love me first and love my children and do what's best for us. So I decided to pack up and leave with my children. And that's what I did. Now, like I told y'all, with what I knew, I didn't even have to do that. But because I didn't know everything, like I thought I knew everything, we wound up having to move. Well, we didn't have to move. I moved. And I left the house. And for a long time, they couldn't sell it or get rid of it. And I kept riding past the house like, why they still... Not knowing they couldn't get rid of it because it's yours, ding ding. You know? So they can't get rid of it. So, like I said, that's how we acquired and lost our first home. You know, one check wouldn't make it home, and oh babe, I'm sorry, oh this and that, and then another check maybe a month or two later wouldn't make it home. And now we lived there 4 years though before everything kind of went to crap. We lived there 4 years, and then one day, and this was the final straw. 4 years later. It took me praying and crying and fasting for 4 years to break it, to get released. And I didn't see the man for 4 days. You know, and this was right when 6, 7 checks ain't made it home. And I didn't see him for 4 days. Me and my kids stood in the middle of that living room and we prayed. And that's when I got my answer, Shine. You need to go. You need to go. You can't stay here. So I'm saying all of this, y'all, to let y'all know that no matter how long you've been with a person, and me and this man was together 23 years. But it's no matter how long you've been with a person, how much love is there and how many children you got and all the assets you got and everything. Now, if I knew what I knew now back then, I really would have did things a whole lot different. Yes, I would have. But no matter what it is, if it's something that's causing you pain and hurt and not to be the best you could be, and I'm leaving out a whole lot on purpose, I really am, but if it's not beneficial for all parties involved, if it's not good for your children to be there, if it's not good for the man or the woman to be there, if it's not good for you to be there, no matter how long you've been there, it's always a way out. You can escape. You don't have to stay in a bad relationship. You don't have to stay in a bad situation. You going one way, he going a complete other, or she or whomever it may be. You do not have to stay there. So I'm saying that just to let y'all know that when I prayed and I said, God, I want to start over. Now, I know y'all done heard. Now, I know y'all done heard, be careful what you say when you pray. Baby, I told God I wanted to start over. That's what I said. I was talking about in a relationship. I wasn't talking about with everything. Which now I find myself in my second marriage and an apartment. But my kids are grown and out on their own. So I hope y'all praying for me, because I'm praying for y'all. And this has been Storytime Saturday. I'm going to conclude right there, and I may pick it up another time. But in closing, guys, in closing, it is what you do every day that creates your success or your failure. And I'm depending on you to create your best life ever. Now, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you really didn't like it, and if you really didn't like what you heard, go on and hit it with a thumbs down. I'ma love you anyway. It ain't nothing you can do about that. And I'm going to keep believing that nothing is impossible and all things are possible, because I'm possible. And that's SI 101, baby. I love you all. Mwah.